Hey, fellow YouTubers. Hey guys. It's a Wednesday afternoon. I just finished my work day. I went out and got this beer. I'd highly recommend it. It's a 9% alcohol IPA, and it tastes like it's 5%. So it's really, really good. But that's neither here nor there, because what I'm going to talk about is something that is something that the vast majority of people would be unwilling to comment on and talk about. But I'm all about keeping it 100. Yeah, 100% real. So, gosh, I'm getting nervous though. Okay, so for about somewhere between 6 to 8 months, I prayed on one thing and I struggled with one thing. Okay, let me give you a little backstory first. Okay, so I'm a single male. I enjoyed dating. I enjoyed having girlfriends. I had 3 girlfriends for each one of them for 3 years. And I didn't marry any of them though. But then after that, I got married. And it didn't work out. It didn't last long, but got 2 kids out of it. But anyways, ever since then, I've been focusing on going to work, being a parent. Going to work, being a parent. And occasionally riding Big Red Betsy. And before Betsy, I had my Kawasaki Mean Streak, or my Triumph, and then my Mean Streak. But anyways, so, you know, I'm a typical male, right? But I've always had this love for Jesus, but I wasn't pursuing it. So, you know, over the course of the last 3 years, and much more so over the last, over the last year, with all of that free time from COVID, I've really been getting more and more into my faith, scripture, praying. But darn it, the last, 7 months or thereabouts, I just couldn't break an old habit, and that was masturbation. So I could, after 4 days without ejaculating, it would get kind of a little bit tempting, because, whatever. But after 7 days, it would get really difficult. 7 to 10 days was really bad. And then it would kind of just stay at that 10-day mark from then on. So, it was really hard trying to please the Lord and avoid this when I'd be going to sleep. Excuse my language, but I'd be going to sleep with a heart on. I'd be sleeping all night with a heart on. I'd be waking up with a heart on. In the morning when I wake up, I'd be walking in the restroom to go pee with a heart on. And it was just crazy, like, I'm 54. Shouldn't this stuff be calming down by now? But I think it was the evil one. I think it was the deceiver making sure that I didn't let go of that habit. But anyways, I struggled, and I hit a month before I fell. And then I hit 58 days at one point before I fell. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop focusing on days, and I'm just going to focus on support, asking the Lord for support and really praying on it. And I learned one thing from a YouTuber: to ask God for the loins of Jesus. So I prayed for that over the course of 3 days, very intently, and it was granted to me. Now, most men would not want this source of pleasure to be completely nullified, but I have had that happen to me, and I'm thanking the Lord every day for it, because here I am, like 35 days without ejaculating, and I'm just so blessed. The Lord came in and granted my prayers. I prayed for 6, 7, 8 months on this, and I just struggled. But it reminds me of the scripture of the first miracle Jesus ever worked. And that's at the wedding in Cana in the scriptures, in the 4 Gospels. And they ran out of wine at a wedding, and weddings back then would go 3 or 4 days. So they had to get some wine. You know, they still got another couple days to go or whatever. So Mary, Blessed Virgin Mary, Jesus' mother, asked Jesus, my son, I need you to, they need help. Can you make some wine? And I love it. He's like, my ministry hasn't started yet, woman. He calls his mother woman. But then he goes ahead and he grants her wish. But he could have just churned empty air in those 6 vases into wine. But no, he made them work first. So he said, fill these 6 vases, I think it was 6, not 7, fill these 6 huge vases, you know, like 4 feet tall, with water. That's a lot of hard work back then. That meant taking probably like 60 buckets to the well and back. You know, so you probably had like 10 or 20 people rushing buckets to the well and back to fill these 6 vases for probably like half an hour. And then after they did all that work, he churned that water into wine. So my point being is that he asked them to do their part first, and they had to work their ass off. You know, 60, 70 buckets of water filled up and carried back from the well. Who knows? It could have been a mile away, you know? I mean, you didn't have wells all over the place back then. And then he did his work and solved the problem. So that's what my 6, 7, 8 months was. I had to do the work. I had to convince him that I was serious about this with my effort and my prayers, and I kept falling short, and I kept getting disgruntled with myself and frustrated, but I kept working at it. I kept praying on it. I didn't give up. And then he came in and whew, problem solved. Miracle. I don't understand it. It's amazing. I feel so blessed and so amazed that the Lord answered my prayers. So I know this is something that a lot of you guys have probably already checked out of this video, but the Lord, God is real. He is a good God, and Jesus is, oh man. If you can get in touch with Jesus, you can find this love and this joy that I've been able to find. And anytime in desperation, when you call out to him, he will come to you. So on that note, I'm going to say God bless, and please seek the Lord, because that's all he cares about is you, that individual, seeking him and coming to him. He loved you before creation started. He already knew you, and he loved you back then, thousands and thousands of years ago. So he's always there, hoping, waiting, and wanting to hear from you. God bless. Hit like, dislike,